Hey everyone, Nathan here. Hope you're having a great start to your week. So I wanted to do this little video to provide a bit more context about my Horizon Workrooms review. If you want to see the earlier review, you can find it on my LinkedIn page, but also on my Facebook. So basically, if you read my review, basically what you took away from it was a non-review. The reason is when I used the product, my feeling about the product was it just wasn't ready for a review. It felt like a very pretty beta. It felt like the form was quite beautiful, but the reality was the utility of the product just wasn't there yet for me as a business user. So when I wrote my opinion, it's always interesting online because there's so many different people with so many different perspectives. Like, for instance, me, I'm a corporate guy. I'm a corporate technology CEO. I work with Fortune 500s, large PE-backed companies. And so for me, the lens, if you will, that I view VR or I view the product from a business application lens is probably going to be very different than others who might use VR from more of a recreational lens or even for passive learning, like such as in a university setting. And so it was really interesting to me to get the various feedback, from the various folks. And again, my review was that at the end of the day, while it looked really pretty, and at the end of the day, the commercial looked very promising and it's what I want, the onboarding experience was so difficult and so hard to use that it just created so much frustration that just didn't want to use the product. And that's really bad for a brand because, especially nowadays when you're trying to develop new technology, all of us in the VR community really want to see broader scale VR adoption. The fact that Meta, probably the biggest player, or one of the biggest players, puts out a product that has a lot of hype around it, and the fact that you can't use it as it's described is obviously very bothersome. It almost feels like for those of us like me who are a little bit older and remember the dot-com boom, it almost felt for a minute like, okay, we're going to get all this hot new tech, and then really it's only 2 years away. So what was interesting about the review, though, was after I came to that conclusion, something I didn't expect happened. Facebook made it very easy for me to change my opinion. So what do I mean by that is, I'm a guy from New York, I'm a guy from the Bronx, I'm an opinionated fellow, I'm a curmudgeon as I get older, of course. I don't like to change opinions. But the reality was, I also love VR, and so it's more important for me for VR to work. And so when I went on Facebook to try and find an answer, Facebook made it super easy for me to get to forums, to get to groups, and to actually ask my questions, vent my frustrations, but get real answers from subject matter experts. Now that's very powerful because what it means is that Facebook understood my psychology and got me through the technology to the right place. The community for Horizon's Workroom could not have been more wonderful. People offering to do everything from setting up meetings with me to show me how to use the technology, to providing detailed answers, to people describing their own work experiences. That was a great experience. And to be honest, that's what VR is really all about, at least for me. So if you've been following my posts around my little experiment from a few months ago, where I used a video game and kinetic transformation to mobilize a large team. I think we got up to 620 something people before I stopped it because it was getting too busy. And what was amazing was VR is so interactive and so immersive, and that immersive interactive experience actually carries over into the real world. It's why you see a lot of health practitioners using VR in health settings, like for people like myself, frankly, who suffer from a fear of flying. VR has often and for a long time been found to be very effective because there's something about that experience, that immersion, that helps you work through issues and then carry that over into the real world. And so the reality is, because of that great experience that I had on those groups, my friend and I actually tried Horizons again last night. It took us an hour to get online. So again, I continue to stand behind my review that the onboarding experience is enough of a detraction that you cannot easily get into a room. You cannot easily pick up a phone and push a button to say, let's meet in a room with this and this person from my contact book. We eventually got there. It took an hour. Once we got there, it was an incredible experience. The room, my friend had customized it with pictures that he personally liked. He was able to sit next to me. We were able to see body gestures. We were able to see voices. When I say see voices, what do I mean by that? We were able to see the mouth movements, and it was perfectly synced up with the sound. So if you were sitting here, you would hear the voice differently than here. So it's almost like you were seeing the person moving their mouth, but you would hear the sound appropriately like in real life. And so even for a beta, once we finally got into the room, Horizon's Workrooms did not disappoint. It was an A++, everything we wanted, everything I could have ever asked for at this stage of the game, and something that could make a massive difference to the future of work as people look to go remote and look to have work on their terms, but companies look to also not lose quality while they accommodate each other. So as that equilibrium is found, futurists like myself truly believe that VR will be a core component of that. And so it was really wonderful to see the workroom itself, once we finally got in there, to be as amazing as everything we could have imagined. So hopefully this updated review provides more context. Like I said in my first review, I really want to make sure that we democratize reviews. I don't just want it to be some angry guy saying, oh, this didn't work the way it worked. So this actually worked perfectly, right? I was able to voice my concern. I was able to get myself to an answer in a few days, and I ended up getting to a really good place. And that to me is a very promising, sentiment for the future, especially, seeing where it's evolving. And again, I know there's always a lot of conflicts around Facebook or questions about Facebook in terms of how people feel and whatever, but without stepping into that from a pure business perspective, definitely want to give a shout out to Facebook. I mean, really well done integrating real metaverse and the whole trifecta. Very well done. Great job. Thanks everyone again for the support. Keep following me for more reviews, and definitely a quick shout out to my group, KT Thriller VR Challenge. If you want to see kinetic transformation in real time, I'm currently starting a second sprint. I got a couple more pounds to lose, and so please join us. We've got a great team from across the world, and we'd love to have you in our corner. Have a great day. Bye now.